What's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB, back in the building, back with another video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into this one really quickly, guys. I want to say happy weekend to all the boxing fans out there. But anyway, guys, we're talking about the baddest man on the planet, the mighty Mike Tyson, guys. You guys know he has a show called Hot Boxing with Mike. And the other day he had Andy Ruiz on the show, and they talked about a number of topics, but it was one thing in particular that stood out to a lot of people. It was when Andy Ruiz questioned Mike Tyson about, who do he think's win in the upcoming trilogy match between former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder and the current champion Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Mike Tyson's answer was pretty brief, but he was respectful. So I'm going to play the small clip for you guys and give you guys my take on what he had to say. So let me play this clip for you guys so you can hear it.
That's a bracket of a bracket.
I think they should have like a tournament where we all get to fight each other and to see who's like.
But Deontay and Tyson, they're making that loop.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good fight.
They're making it one.
I said they fight.
What do you think? Like, who would take the? Or it goes either way.
No way. Deontay Wilder has nothing to be sad about, has nothing to complain for a great fight. I didn't think Tyson might anything can happen because he punches hard.
Do you think size matters in that fight, Mike?
Well, they're both the same size.
Okay, so you heard what Mike Tyson had to say. He said anything can happen in a fight, but he thinks that Tyson Fury has Deontay Wilder's number. Now, I've talked about this in the past. Mentioned how Tyson Fury had Deontay Wilder's number in other videos, and what I mean is, in a sense of, not that Wilder can't win this upcoming trilogy match, because it's boxing. Anything's possible. It's the heavyweight division. One punch can change everything in a fight. But I meant it in a sense of Wilder, who's been winning all these fights, knocking out all of his opponents, mostly with his right hand. He's been winning the fight with his right hand. I know a lot of people say that he does have a skill set, and he did show it a little bit in the fight with Stavern. I think it was the second fight with Stavern. But Wilder has been having so much success with his right hand that he basically just ignored the fundamentals of boxing. He was at the point where he didn't need to do that stuff, and he didn't do that, and he admitted to that himself, that he's been winning with the right hand. Why change it? And that's what I meant by Tyson Fury having his number. You run into that one guy, because believe this or don't believe this, there's always somebody out there that's better than you in what you do. There's always one person that's going to be better than you. But just because somebody's better than you doesn't mean that you can't rise to the occasion and become victorious in whatever it is that you're doing. And the same thing in Deontay Wilder's case. Just because Tyson Fury's a more masterful boxer than him doesn't mean that going into this third matchup that he can't rise to the occasion and come out victorious in this fight. Even though it's an uphill battle for him, it's still possible. And that's the thing. When somebody has your number, I always say, either you're going to take your ball and go home, or you're going to go back to the drawing board and work on plugging the holes in your game. And see, this is what Wilder should have been doing the whole time. And we're all victims of this a lot of times. When something is working for us, we tend to ignore, the holes or the problems that we know we have. We tend to ignore that, and instead of working meticulously on plugging up the holes in your game, you're focused on what works for you. And I think that was the issue with Deontay Wilder. I think he became a victim of his own success. Victory has defeated you. And I think that's what happened in the last fight with Tyson Fury. Now, like I said, just because someone is better than you doesn't mean that he can't overcome, or you can't overcome what's in front of you. Now, we've seen Wilder, he's doing what he should have been doing in the past. He's working day and night on his craft. They're looking at little things that Wilder has been lacking in, eating, sleeping, and shit in boxing. That's what he's doing now. And it's possible if he goes into the ring come fight night, July 24th, if he's dedicated to what he's doing, if he pays attention to detail, if he makes those necessary adjustments in the ring, it's possible that he can become victorious in this fight. So just because Tyson Fury had his number in the past doesn't mean Wilder can't be victorious in the future. But it's up to Deontay Wilder to make the necessary adjustments in the fight. So that's what I have to say about this whole thing, about what Mike Tyson has to say. Maybe Mike Tyson's not giving Deontay Wilder a chance. Maybe, he thinks Tyson Fury is just too much for him. But I'm always been an optimist. Never underestimate your opponent. Never underestimate what they're thinking. Never underestimate how hard they're working. So you guys tell me what you think about what Mike Tyson had to say. Let me know if you think Deontay Wilder has a chance in this upcoming fight, or do you think Tyson Fury is just a guy that has his number and he's just too much for Deontay Wilder? Let me know in the comments section, guys. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.